And so when you look at, people say, is it CIA? Is it Mossad? Is it MI6 that ran Jeffrey Epstein? It was all three, because at that higher level of actual blackmail and sex ops, and not sex ops to infiltrate some Islamic group or sex ops to infiltrate, some other group at a mid-level. That definitely goes on with honeypots. But when it's politicians and world leaders, that's not authorized by regular Mossad or MI6 or CIA. It's breakaway networks with Ghislaine Maxwell's dad on record running the major British network that liaison with the Israelis, liaison with the Europeans, liaison with the U.S., higher levels to basically go out, while at the same time providing prostitutes for the elites, which they ran as international brothels, where the people going there knew they were part of it, and it wasn't a honeypot. But for everybody else, when the hookers weren't being used, or the sex slaves, underage kids weren't being used, they were then being given to these operatives to go out and honeypot people or brownstone folks. And so 1 trillion%, that's what Harvey Weinstein was involved in, the Nexium cult. All these are just break-off group feeders into these larger systems of compromise, where they compromise the highest levels, the British royal family, and with Jimmy Savile and the rest of it. And then they move down to your local sheriff, your local police chief. He thinks some hot-looking 20-year-old hit on him at the Burger King or the Whataburger or the McDonald's. He gets her in the car, learns she's 16 a day later, but don't worry. They get a knock on the door by some people that are with an agency. They don't really say who, but don't worry, Sheriff Brown or Sheriff Johnson or Sheriff Sanchez, we're going to work with you, and we're going to take care of this. That's why I went public 3 years ago when I got sent child porn, tons of it in hidden images. Then we got deposed. They demanded all our raw emails. We give it to them unopened. They find the hidden links to child porn, and they reach out and they go, we don't want to make a big deal about this. We want to work with you right now. We're not going to talk about this child porn in public. I went right on air and talked about it the minute it happened, because I never opened it. I didn't send it. And then instantly headlines, Jones sends child porn to Sandy Hook family. So you can make of it what you will, but I smelled it for what it was, and I immediately outed it, because I wasn't going to sit there and go, oh, please don't say I didn't open emails, and then unopened emails had child porn in them. That, again, they specifically demanded in depositions, they specifically subpoenaed, and then they found hidden links in there that with metadata scans they went and found. I'm not saying they were involved in it. Of course not. These are good people. These are loving Democrats. But the point is, this is how these people operate.
No, you're exactly right. And the ability to do that digitally now, it takes away so much of the ability because when we look at it, right, that's the crime. And they've got you by the crime, then they've got the email, then they say you transmitted because you forwarded the email, even though that's embedded in all this other stuff. You see this with viruses, you see there was phishing, everything else. You can embed this code, by the way. When you see a little email attached to the end of or the images attached to the end of an email, that could have child porn embedded within the code of the email.
Exactly. I send you a Kanye West article out of Houston News, and in it's a little link you don't even open, and it's there.
Yeah, if you click download the images, well, you just downloaded the image, and now you've downloaded it. We're coming up on our next break, Alex. But in the next segment, I want to get into how all of this is coming together, how your book plays a role in it, and what is coming up next for our society and what people really need to pay attention to. Stay tuned. We'll be coming back with the one and only Alex Jones. We're back here, segment 3. Alex Jones, the sit down. The website is InfoWars. The book is The Great Reset. Alex, we were just talking about how they use these brownstoning operations, but how it's actually moved digitally now to the sense where they're just sending people files that they don't even know about. It's almost they don't even need the full-on Jeffrey Epstein level operations in order to compromise people. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about the compromise. It's about having actionable intelligence or actionable evidence against you that they can use in court. They hang it over your head and they say, we will control you now. You have to be done for. Now, look, when I look out on the world stage, I see people like Putin, I see Zelensky, I see Biden, Elon Musk even. People are talking about World War III. People are talking about we have to go to the threat of nuclear war, whether or not we agree, if we don't go along with whatever the latest current thing is, whatever the funding in Ukraine is. I hear people, they're saying they're losing hope. I hear people saying this is terrible.